Hello and welcome to Prime Code Media. My name is Sanama Bena. In the previous episode, I showed through the use of examples some of the advantages that Bootstrap offers when it comes to front-end development. Now, in order to use this framework, we first have to install it. How do we do that? Okay, first I'm going to create a website folder on my desktop. You can create yours anywhere you like. I'm going to name this website folder Bootstrap. You can name yours anything you like. I'm then going to drag and drop this website folder into my code editor. I am using Atom. I've now dropped it inside my code editor, as you can see it right here. Next, I'm going to go to getbootstrap.com. Now, everything we need to start using this framework is here on this website. The version I am going to install is 5.2, and if you click here, you'll see that you can install any of the previous versions. I'm going to stick with 5.2, which is the latest version. And then let's just move to where it says a quick start here. The first instruction that we get is to create a new index.html file in our project root. I'm going to do that inside my code editor. I'm going to do that by right clicking on this folder and select new file. And then inside here, I'm going to type index.html. So this is the file that I am creating, the index.html file as per the instruction. Now here it is now inside this Bootstrap folder that I dropped inside this code editor. I now have a new file, which is the index.html file. Now let's go back to getbootstrap.com and see what else we get. Here it says include the meta name viewport tag as well for proper responsive behavior in mobile devices. So here is that meta name viewport tag. Here it is just above the title, inside the head section above the title. So the viewport meta tag will ensure that our web page is responsive, meaning that it will adapt to different viewport sizes and shapes. Now let's scroll down once more and see what else we get. Now the second instruction says include Bootstrap's CSS and GS. It then says place the link tag in the head for our CSS. So here is that link. It is inside the head just below the title. So this is the link, and then it goes further to say and the script tag for our JavaScript bundle. Inside bracket there it says including popper for positioning, drop downs, poppers and tooltips before the closing body tag. So here is that script. Let's just scroll down a bit and see where the script is. So here is that script. It is inside the body just before the closing tag, the body closing tag. So this script is also important because if your web page, for example, is going to have elements that behave in a particular way, Bootstrap alone won't be able to provide that functionality. So that is why this script is also so important. Now next I am going to now just copy this boilerplate and paste it inside my code editor like so. I've just pasted it inside my code editor. Now if you are using Atom like myself, and after pasting the boilerplate the code becomes grayed out, as you can see mine, don't worry, this is a common issue with Atom. You can resolve this issue by simply closing and reopening your code editor, which is what I am going to do just now. Okay, now I have reopened my code editor, and as you can see, my code is no longer grayed out, which means everything now is working fine. Now we have access to the Bootstrap framework, and this is because of this link right here. So what will happen is that when the browser reads through this file, when it gets to this link here, it will go to this URL and download the Bootstrap files, and that is if they are not cached on the browser of the user. So if they are cached, for example, if the user has visited a website that uses Bootstrap, there will be no use for the browser to once again download the files, so they will be cached, which is something that is great when it comes to this framework. And this will be made possible by this CDN here, which is short for Content Delivery Network, which refers to a group of servers that work together to distribute fast internet content. So to see if we have successfully managed to install Bootstrap, let's open this web page inside our browser. I'm going to do that by right clicking on this index.html file and then copy full path and then go to my browser, paste. Now here's how the web page looks. So this is how the words hello world look. Now this shows that we are now having access to the Bootstrap framework because the words hello world are not styled using the default rules. But let's just verify this. To do that, I'm going to go back to my code editor and comment out this link. I've just commented out this link, and then I'm going to save my work here and go back to my browser and then refresh. Now as you can see, after commenting out that link and refreshing the browser, the words are now styled using the default rules. So they're started now using the default rules, and that is because I have commented out that Bootstrap link. Let me go back and uncomment it like so. I've just uncommented the link. I'm just saving, and then let me refresh. So now as you can see, now the words are styled differently, which proves that we now have access to the Bootstrap framework, and we have achieved this by simply copying this boilerplate here, which already has a viewport meta tag, a link, as well as the script. And what we did is that we pasted it inside our code editor, and that gives us the access to this framework. Alternatively, you can download a ready to use compiled code for Bootstrap by coming here and clicking download, and then scrolling down here. As you can see here, it says download the ready to use compiled code for Bootstrap version 5.2.1. You'll do that by clicking on download here, and then you'll see that there is a zipped file that is downloading here. Next, you open this file. Inside this file, you'll see that there is a Bootstrap folder. You open it. Inside here, there are two file folders, CSS and JS, and then you are going to click the CSS one and then drag it and drop it inside that website folder that you created on your desktop. Now if you go to your code editor, and you will see that now inside that bootstrap folder you now have a new file which is named the CSS. And then if you click here, you'll see that it has quite a number of files inside. So next you will uncomment, let me just uncomment or comment out this link. I am then going to add a link which will provide access to this file. So I'm going to add a link just below this title. Now I have added a link. It is of a rel of style sheet. Everything is fine there. So I'm going to remove this / here because it refers to the root. And then what I am also going to change here is this master, because what I want to target here is bootstrap.css, this file here. So what I'm going to do, let me just do this, collapse everything. Okay, inside here what I'm going to do, I'm just going to include the name of the file, which is bootstrap.css. So what we are saying here to the browser is that go and look for a file named CSS. This is the file that I'm referring to. And then inside this file, go and look for a file named bootstrap.css, and that is where you are going to find all the files or the bootstrap files that we are looking for. So let me save my work here and then go back to my browser. Okay, and then refresh. After refreshing, as you can see, nothing has changed. This is because we now have we still have access to the Bootstrap framework, but the difference now is that we are no longer using this link here which we used previously. We are this time using a file that we downloaded. So we can also again verify this by for example going back here and commenting out this link. Let me just comment out this link and save. This will show that we have Bootstrap but from a different source this time around. Let me just refresh. Now as you can see, the words are styled using default rules, and this is because we have commented out this link. So if we uncomment it and save again and go back and refresh, you'll see that the words go back to how they were styled earlier, and this shows that we now have access to Bootstrap. We have managed to get access to Bootstrap. The only difference is that we are no longer using this link. We are accessing it through this new file that we have added. I personally do not prefer this option because every time the user visits the page, the browser will have to download Bootstrap, and that is even if the user previously visited the page. And that is because Bootstrap cannot be cached as it is saved in a separate file. So I prefer this option. Let me just comment out this this option which I said I do not prefer, and uncomment the one that I prefer. And this is because if the user had previously visited a page using Bootstrap, Bootstrap will be cached. Therefore there will be no need for Bootstrap to be downloaded, meaning there will be no latency, and that is the reason why I prefer this option right here. So with that, we've come to the end of our discussion. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon to be notified when new videos come out. Until we code again next time, take care. Bye.